Where are you equal? What are we thinking about when it's wealth that decides what you own and control, decides what freedom and opportunities you're going to have in this society? Now, you want to know what is wealth. Wealth is not income. Don't confuse wealth with income. Income is what you get to maintain you from one week to the other. Wealth is what you got left over after you paid your bills and stacked it up. Wealth is surplus labor. That's all wealth is. Wealth means somebody has labored and you've stored it up and it has value on it. That's how whites were able to become rich and get all this wealth. That all those millions of blacks, the 5 million blacks they had enslaved, they never paid them. And when the European society sent whites to America, they said, go to America. They didn't say what the lies you hear nowadays about, well, whites came to America looking for religious freedom. No white person was that stupid. No white person was getting on a ship, sailing for 4 months around the world to find some place to pray. They didn't come here looking for no religious freedom. They came here because the governments were saying, if you go to America, we will guarantee you, we will give you free land and free labor. And you would have to be an idiot not to be rich if we give you free land and free labor. And that's where the whole franchising system started, like Burger King and McDonald's, that set up a restaurant for you. They give you all equipment and the menu and all the food, and you pay them a free. And they sent the people over here from Europe to inhabit America. They gave them soldiers. They gave them some money and told them the soldiers would protect you away from the Indians. And we'll give you some slaves. And what you got to do is raise the crop products, tobacco, indigo, rice, cotton, and send it back to Europe. And we'll pay you a fee. That's what it was all about. Everybody got a chance to get rich but black folk because we never understood what racism was. We still don't understand what racism is. So we got black folk right now in America, in this city, that try to speak out on issues affecting black folk. And as soon as they start saying, we're not going to take any more of this, you're mistreating us, somebody says, well, that black guy is racist. A black person cannot be a racist. Let me say that again so y'all didn't hear me. It is impossible under present conditions in this country and any place in the world for a black people to be racist. You don't have any wealth and power. You cannot control what white folks do. You cannot enslave white folk. You cannot tell them who they can marry and who they can't marry. You can't deny them an education. You can't make them pick cotton 6 days a week, 18 hours a day for you. You cannot be a racist. You can be bigoted, biased. And I hear that all the time. He said, Dr. Anderson, but I heard that black guy out the parking lot. He called that white guy a redneck cracker. Isn't he a racist? No, he might be bigoted towards white people and poor whites, but he's not racist. That parking lot attendant can't do anything to white people. All he can do is talk. He cannot stop white folk from getting an education, from owning a business. And so what they've done now is confuse the issue of what racism is so that all black folk in America are paralyzed. They're scared to do anything. They won't speak up for themselves. They won't fight for themselves. They're scared somebody's going to call them a racist. They can't even be something that somebody's calling them. And worse than that, you've allowed all the people you're competing with to also fall underneath that cover and declare they're just as bad off as you. That's why Hispanics and Arabs and Asians and humpbacks and lesbians and midgets all get into the affirmative action program. So you got to learn how to play the games. Now let's deal with some other concepts now that you understand what racism is. Another concept is minority. Any black person in Baltimore, let somebody call them minority, you should cut them after you shoot them. That is an insult for somebody to call you, and for you to call yourself a minority, nobody's supposed to be that stuck on stupid, unless you got a stupid license. You live in a social democracy that was set up in 1789. The first law of Congress in 1789, we became a nation, said this is a white country. This is a white country, And the quota on black folk coming in is 0, unless he comes in as a slave. And the rule in a social democracy then is that the majority will win and rule, and the minority will lose and suffer. Why would you go around calling yourself a loser? I'm a loser, I'm a minority, and I'm suffering. Why would you do it? Why would you teach your children to call themselves a loser? And worse than that is in cities like Baltimore. Why would you in Baltimore be going around pushing the city to give you a minority set aside when you make up 65% of the population of the city? You are the majority. Nobody on earth is supposed to be that silly. I go to Detroit, Michigan, and I'm speaking to the legislature, and they said, well, Dr. Anderson, before you talk, we want to give you a plaque. And I said, no, before you give me a plaque, tell me what are you doing for black folk? They said, well, we got a 5% set-aside program downtown. I said, downtown where? They said, in the Office of Minority Affairs. I said, this city is 90% black. Why are you calling black folk minorities in a city where they're the majority? So, hey, somebody's elevator does not go to the second floor. Why do you keep calling yourself a minority and trying to get a minority program when you're the majority? So the one white woman on the city council said, well, Dr. Anderson, well, if you, what do you want us to do? I said, in this city, the city council needs to pass a resolution saying that in this city, black people are the majority population. Once it's pointed out that you are the majority population, then it is against the law for other people coming in to rape and rob you through the government. Whites cannot come in there and take all the resources out. It's a violation of your rights. If you've had the city council in Baltimore to pass a resolution saying in this city in Baltimore, we are a black city, that's 65% black. We are the majority population. Same thing in Washington, D.C., where we had a 77% black population. They're giving black folk 4% of the resources. So what whites have been successful in doing is that they are the majority in the suburbs, and they're also the majority in the city, even though they don't live in there. Because black people won't stand up for their rights. And say, no, I don't want any minority programs. I am the majority. And you're supposed to develop all these resources in this city for me. I should not have to come to Baltimore and find absolutely no black businesses of any nature. Why am I go to Detroit, Michigan again as an example. Detroit, Michigan is a 90% black city. They got 146 gas stations in Detroit, Michigan. 146 gas stations in Detroit, Michigan. Arabs own 141 in a black city. In the black city of Detroit, Michigan. Arabs own not only the gas stations, they own the grocery stores, party stores, liquor stores. The Koreans in Detroit, they own the barbecue restaurants, the nail shops, the wig shops, the hair products, distributorships. The East Indians in Detroit, they own the rest of the businesses. They own the Dunkin' and Donuts, the cheap motels, the check cashing services. Blacks own nothing in a city where they're the majority population. I got 1 million black folk in Detroit that owns nothing. Now, what's the impact of that? That's why in the 2000 census, the United States government declared Detroit to be the poorest city in the United States with the highest crime rate. And everybody's sitting back in the black leadership saying, oh, why are we so poor? You're poor because you're stuck on stupid. There is a direct relationship in this country between how many businesses you own and how poor you're going to be as a group. Those groups that have no businesses are going to be poor and imprisoned. It is not the government's responsibility to help you do anything. The government's responsibility, the police department's responsibility is to put you in jail and keep you out of the way. When you have a Katrina situation, which on one of my videos, I started talking about Katrina 7 to 8 years before it even happened.